Hello and welcome to Microsoft Hates Greg. My name is Greg Deckler, and let me start out by saying that I probably should not be making this video. But people have annoyed me, and so I'm going to make this video. And I can't believe this is the third freaking video on this stupid subject of Microsoft's outrageous, price hike of 40%, which I will state for the record again, I never had a problem with and never intended to make even one video on this subject. And here I am with the third. Um, and so it has been a great source of entertainment, regardless of my feelings about it. It's like you can make funny memes and all kinds of stuff about it. But the thing that's annoyed me and made me make this third video is the stupid justification that I keep seeing out there. Like, there's been a lot of the outrage over this because I mean it's a 40% price hike. I mean, it's like Microsoft was like, hey, no one really said much when we hiked Microsoft Office prices by 15%. Hey Satya, maybe we should like double that, on the next time we do price hike. Satya's like, screw that. You're like, double it. Let's make it 40%. Shit, these saps will pay anything for this stuff. Right? I mean, it's an outrageous amount of a price hike. I mean, there's just no getting around it, right? But people try to justify it. Like this, like the one is like, well, they've a decade of innovation, right? In terms of, what it used to be from now. We've added so much. Dude, when Power BI came out 10 years, it was absolute dog water, right? Compared to its competitors. It was trash, right? I mean, the only thing it had going for it was cheap, right? And it could do some basic, really basic stuff, right? That's all it had, right? And so it's saying that like, oh, we put all this innovation into, dude. Okay, so over the last 10 years, you've barely brought it up to what the competition was 10 years ago, right? I mean, how is that? It's expected of you to actually make your product competitive in the marketplace, right? It's not that, oh, we've decade of innovation. No, you just made it comparable to your competition that 10 years ago, right? So this whole, investment thing makes no sense, right? And then there's the like, well, inflation is like average of 3% over the last 10 years, and I'll get to that one in a second. But the one that really annoyed me and like made me make this video, I think it was there was this stuff about like, well, when Microsoft came out, people were charging all these greedy, evil corporations were charging all this money for Power BI business intelligence tool for not Power BI business intelligence tools, right? There were these evil, greedy corporations. And so Microsoft, we came in because we're multinational and we can undercut all their prices and drive them out of business. These evil, greedy corporations, right? And so we're justified now because we drove those evil, greedy corporations out of business. So now we can be evil and greedy and jack our prices up because we saved you from the. It's like how is that an argument, right? I mean, how can you possibly think that that's justification, right? Well, we're not as evil and greedy as these corporations back then, but now we are, and so it's better. What? Like, how do you? It just boggles. It's mind-boggling, right? Just absolute mind-boggling. This justification. Here's my advice to you, Microsoft: just embrace the evil, right? Just embrace it, right? It's okay for you to be evil. You're an evil multinational corporation. That is who you are, right? It's incumbent upon you to be evil and greedy to your shareholders. You're a publicly traded institution, okay? There's no just if somebody from Microsoft would just come out, right, and be like, you know what? We're going to price gouge you for 40% more and for your licenses, and you're going to pay it because you guys are saps. And if you don't like it, yeah, right? If somebody from Microsoft just came out and just said that, that would be fantastic. I'd be like, yes, finally some straight talk, right? But Microsoft has this thing where they want people to feel bad for them, like, oh, it's not really our fault that we're price gouging you, right? No, there's reasons behind it. Look, the inflation one. So let's get to the inflation one. Oh, it's 3% inflation. So that's 30, it's 33%, 30% inflation to be expected, 40%, blah, blah. Look, here's the actual facts. Microsoft is a publicly traded corporation. So you can go on to ChatGPT and ask questions like, based on public records, what is the gross margin percentage from Microsoft? Well, it actually tells you, right? So they're almost paupers over there at Microsoft, right? They only made $144 billion last year. That is their gross. That's all. That's it, right? I mean, obviously, they need to jack their prices up by 40% because they only made $144 billion, right? So their gross margin percentage is 68.3%, which is actually a little low. They point you to the 10K, right? So you go to the 10K and you open that up, and it's actually $146 billion. Okay. That is what they made. So for all your things that you're talking about, like, oh, inflation and this and that and blah, 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 they're making 70% gross margin, people. Okay. Justify that. And that's expected. Again, I'm not criticizing it because that's expected for anything in the intellectual property space, which software is an intellectual property. It's expected to make 60 to 70% or more on that sort of stuff as far as gross margin goes. It's normal. Okay. So I'm not criticizing it, but please stop trying to freaking justify this absolute price grab. Because basically what you're doing is you have to get to 70% gross margin, $10 per user per month. That means that Microsoft's cost is $3 per user per month, right? Divide by 10, there's your 70%. Right. So now what they're doing is they're saying, well, it's 14 minus $3 divided by 14. So basically, their whole goal is to get from 70% to 80% gross margin. Okay. They're an evil, greedy corporation. They owe it to their shareholders to be an evil, greedy corporation. Okay. And now all they're trying to do is get from 68% gross margin to 78% gross margin, on their, overall for their company. So, yeah, of course they're going to hike the prices up by 40%, right? It's simple math. And just Microsoft, just stop the justification and just embrace being evil. It is who you are. It's who you are at your core. You are an evil, greedy, multinational corporation, and you just need to believe in yourself and embrace it. That's all I have for this video. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.